Today we're going to learn how to make some plant-based sugar cookies, complete with frosting. They're great for holidays or anytime you want to have fun decorating cookies. Let's get started. The first ingredient we're going to add to our mixing bowl is 1 cup of Earth Balance plant-based butter. If you prefer, you can use half and half, Crisco all vegetable shortening, and Earth Balance. It's your choice. Into your mixer bowl, you want to add half a cup of sugar in the raw. Next, you'll add 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar. Put the butter or butter and shortening and sugars into your mixing bowl and start mixing until they cream together well. When your butter and sugars are thoroughly mixed and fluffy, you're going to add 1/3 cup of canned pumpkin. Not pumpkin pie mix, just plain canned pumpkin. Then you'll add 3 tablespoons of aqua faba. Aqua faba is the fluid from a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. And the last liquid ingredient will be 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. Add that to your mixer bowl, and let's get to mixing. After you have thoroughly combined all the wet ingredients, it's time to add the dry ingredients. We're going to start with 4 cups of scooped and leveled off flour. Next, you will add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And this is an optional ingredient, but I like to add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to the dry ingredients. It gives the cookies a tender, soft texture. Now that our dry ingredients have all been added, we'll start our mixer on slow until it all comes together and then holds together when you pinch it with your fingers. Once your dough is mixed to your liking, which should be that it comes together nicely without crumbles and it shouldn't be too moist. Of course, you can adjust that by adding a little more aqua faba or a little more flour to make it just right. But once it comes together and forms a cohesive ball, I like to measure mine on a scale so that all the cookies are the same size. So I will measure them to 2.2 ounces. As I measure the dough, I put the cookie balls onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper until all of the dough has been measured. Once the dough is all measured out, I will flatten each cookie dough ball into a circular shape by hand. The recipe will make about 20 cookies like this. Then I will freeze the cookies. Once they are frozen, I will take them and put them in a Ziploc bag. When it's time to bake them, I can take just as many out as I want to make at a time. I will bake them in my convection oven at 275 degrees for 13 minutes. Once they are cooled, they'll be ready to frost. Once your cookies are baked and cooled, you're going to want to frost them. To make the frosting, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of Earth Balance butter and melt it. Add 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, not shown here. Then you'll add 2 to 3 cups of icing sugar, and then a tablespoon or 2 of unsweetened plant milk. I chose unsweetened almond milk here. You're going to stir it until it makes a thick frosting, but it's also spreadable. You may have to adjust the amount of sugar and almond milk to come to the consistency you like. You can also color it with food coloring if you want to make a colored frosting. Here's an example of a sugar cookie I made for Halloween this year. I kept the frosting white and used sprinkles for the occasion. There are so many different ways to decorate these cookies. They are fun and delicious.